Drinking beer and watching sports is pretty awesome, and one of the few things on par is drinking beer and playing video games. But dropping all that cash on games that end up collecting dust after you're done with them sucks. But there's no sense in trading in old games unless you really want 25 cents off your new one. There's a better way, GameFly.
GameFly has over 8,000 new releases and classics available to rent for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, PS Vita, Wii U, Wii, and 3DS, as well as older systems. As a GameFly member, you can rent as many console and handheld games as you want and get them delivered right to your mailbox for one low monthly fee.
And if you like a game so much that you don't want to send it back, you can keep it for a low use price. There are never any due dates or late fees, and GameFly also offers the ability to rent Blu-ray and DVD movies as part of the regular service at no extra charge.
And right now, GameFly is offering fans of Craft Brewed Sports a premium free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. To get that free trial started today, just go to gameflyoffer.com/craftbrewedsports. That's gameflyoffer.com/craftbrewedsports. Or just head on over to our website, craftbrewedsports.com, and click the GameFly link in the menu. We've all been there. You're standing in the beer aisle staring at the same selection that was there last week and just wishing you could try something different. That's where Tavour comes in. Tavour is the best and easiest way for you to get the beers that you can't find in your favorite bottle shop.
No need to hunt down people to trade with or worry about sending some sketchy guy a PayPal account hoping that he delivers on the bottle that you want. Tavour has your back. They only work with independent breweries, so there's no risk of getting suckered into buying an InBev beer pretending to be a craft brew.
And it's insanely easy. Just sign up for your free account, download the Tavour app for your Android or iPhone, and you'll get notifications when new beers are ready. Just go to the app and click Get It, and they'll put the quantity requested aside for you and ship it to your door. You can ship as many beers as you want for a flat fee, and you can schedule your delivery as soon as 1 week and as late as 5 after you select the beer you want to buy.
And now, fans of Craft Brewed Sports can get $10 in credit after you buy your first beer through Tavour.com. Just go to our website, craftbrewedsports.com, and click the Tavour link in the menu bar. Create your free account, and after your first beer is shipped out, you'll see a $10 credit hit your account. There's no commitment, no contract, no gimmicks, just great beer delivered directly to your door.
You guys are very big disappointments to me.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the most disappointing craft beer and sports show that you'll find, Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. With me, as always, my main man, Scott. The man behind the computers is Joe. It's Craft Brewed Sports. Scott, are you ready to tap this keg of sports knowledge?
I'm ready to disappoint Drew one more time.
Dude, I'm so mad that I heard that voicemail last week, like after the show, because he had called in right as we were getting off the air last week, and I saw that voicemail come through because it does the text. And I read it, and I was like,
Voice to text.
oh, man, I wish we could have just had time to just play it before. But I was like, no, we'll save it for next week. So shout out Drew for that awesome voicemail. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got an awesome show for you guys tonight. We're going to talk about some World Cup. We got some NBA free agency rumors.
Oh, so many free agency rumors.
It has been crazy today.
And wild stories on Upper Deck, as always.
Yes, as always. We got an awesome beer that we're drinking. I can't wait to. This is the first time I've held off tasting a beer before the show.
You're in for a treat.
It's gonna be a good
I took
one.
my first sip and wow.
Well, before we get into the beer, let's talk about the Motherfucker of the Week nominations this week. Scott, I will let you go first and let us know who is the first option for Motherfucker of the Week.
The first option is quite the doozy because it's not even an athlete. It's a friend of an athlete. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, Mike just had his first sip of beer. He wasn't really excited about the friend of the athlete. He was excited about the beer. Anyway, one of Boston Red Sox. What, does he still play for the Red Sox? They released him or something weird. Yeah. Anyway, former MLBer, current free agent Hanley Ramirez. He had a friend who got pulled over by police on his way to Boston, and rather than tell the truth about what he was doing, he decided he was going to tell the FBI agents that pulled him over that he was taking a shipment of drugs to Hanley Ramirez, who was a drug kingpin.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
Totally made it up. Hanley Ramirez had nothing to do with it. But, you know, when in doubt, when the FBI pulls you over and you got an assload of drugs in your car, blame the most famous person you know.
It's such a witch, too. Like,
burn a bridge like that's enough to get you murdered.
I mean, yeah, I don't think Hanley Ramirez has the. I guess he's got the means to have somebody murdered, but
no, he's from the Dominican.
He's got the means to get it disappear. Done. But yeah, what a dick move, man, to be like,
such a dick.
I know Hanley Ramirez. He's a drug kingpin.
What? We didn't even ask you about Hanley Ramirez.
Sir, did you know you were speeding? It's the 40 and you're going 45. Yeah, but Hanley Ramirez, he's a drug kingpin. Dick move, bro. So that dude, which we don't even know his name, he's just the friend of Hanley Ramirez, quote unquote friend. He is going up against Lawrence Taylor. LT came out this week. TMZ asked him his thoughts on Tampa Bay quarterback Jameis Winston and all the issues that he's going through.
The nonstop issues.
LT said that Jameis Winston needs to start making better life decisions.
The beacon of truth, Mr. Crackhead himself, LT.
The dude who fucked a 16-year-old girl is going to be the one passing judgment saying that Jameis Winston. Now, some people are going to take it as he's been there. He knows what he's doing. No, man. Some guys in life just don't need to give anybody else advice. If you're an adult and you fucked a 16-year-old girl, I don't say anything to nobody. I just want to be in the corner over here and not. Hey, LT, we want your opinion. No, I'm good. Nope. LT who? I'm not him. I'm not Lawrence Taylor. Dude, I read up on some of the things that he got busted for during his playing. He showed up at a meeting one time with handcuffs on. Yeah. From hookers. Like they were hookers. Yeah. He also. I read that. I remember reading that story. He said in his in a book that he wrote, he said that he used to like pay for hookers and send them to opposing teams' hotel rooms the night before games to try to tire people out. Mm-hmm. So LT, all your stats voided because it's and if anybody knows cheating, it's Mike, so he can void out some stats. Those are your motherfucker of the week nominees. The poll is available on our Facebook page. Head on over there and cast your vote for either Hanley Ramirez's quote unquote friend or LT for coming out and saying that Jameis Winston needs to make some better life decisions. You ready to talk about this beer, man? Oh, I am. Dude, I've never been so excited about an IPA in the show before. So this was a Tavour beer, and again, Tavor's descriptions just sell it. This one, the email heading sold it because the email heading was The People versus OJuice. And that's what this beer is. This is OJuice Double IPA from Three Magnets Brewing in Olympia, Washington. So this is a very orange juice heavy beer. They basically say it's like drinking orange juice. And the weird thing about it, from what I can tell, the flavor doesn't come from them adding a bunch of oranges in the brewing process. It's just the way that they arrange the hops. It's kind of like what Scott was telling us about how he can like make you taste something just using seasoning and stuff. Yeah. And that's what they did here, using a combination of Simcoe, Cascade, Citra, and Amarillo hops. It gives it this very citrusy flavor. There's an orange zest flavor at the end of it. I've only gotten a little sip, so I'll take one. You go ahead, give your initial thoughts. The smell on this is fantastic. It smells exactly what you would think orange juice beer would smell like. I mean, it's amazing. And I could smell, when I first poured it in, I'm like, okay, I can smell oranges, and it has a little hint of pineapple scent in there. Like, it smells exactly like one of the best orange juices out there, which is one of those Tropicana mixes that has that pineapple and maybe banana. Delicious. But first sip, incredible. Yeah, this is a double IPA too, which so 8.2%. I don't taste any hops. No, this is the best type of IPA. It is unreal that they are able to combine these hops and get this flavor. So I know we've talked in the past about IBUs not being a really good measure for beers. This is a 40 IBU beer, which. Low. You don't really know, like it's okay. That's a 40 IBU, but it could still be kind of bitter. Not bitter at all. Like there's not a really single stitch of bitterness in it. That's the weirdest part. I mean, a double IPA with all those different hops, and I can't tell that there's hops. If you poured this, if you did a blind taste test on this, I would probably say it was some type of wheat beer. To be honest with you, like a zesty orange wheat beer. Yeah, because that's what it tastes like. Joe, you're the IPA guru at the table. What are your initial thoughts on this one?
This is good.
Joe brings the heat.
I forgot. By the way, I forgot. Hey, Joe, how's it going, man?
Hey, guys.
There it is. All right, that's my bad. That's my bad, man. I apologize for that. All right, well, OJuice is the name of this one. We will see how it holds up, but I think
we can
probably tell.
We can call it. I can't imagine this beer getting any less flavorful.
We'll see, because that's the thing. You always say that. You're like, oh, this is, and then by the end, you're like, that's not the flavor that it was there at the beginning.
True.
So we'll see how this one holds up.
All I know is that I'm disappointed that we only had one.
I know. We should have totally
I'm really
got two
disappointed
each.
we only got the one tall.
Definitely screwed up on that one. All right, let's get into Upper Deck.
Sounds good. And Upper Deck, as always, brought to you by Minuteman Tickets, owned by a couple of local Ohio dudes who are sports fans just like all of you.
Minuteman helps customers find the best deals on the market. These guys are all about honesty, all the time, every time. If someone has a better price, they'll tell you straight up.
But Minuteman isn't just sports or concerts. They'll help you out with tickets to literally any event you want. They'll even sell your tickets for you.
And with college football right around the corner, be sure to hit up Minuteman for all of your OSU football ticketing needs.
Go like them on Facebook, where they do weekly giveaways of merchandise, sports and concert apparel, and obviously tickets.
And check them out at MinutemanTickets.com or call them at 614-943-3000 and avoid all of the fees. That's 614-943-3000.
All right, we're going to kick off Upper Deck with update to a previous story. And, well, in case we didn't know, the NFL is stupid. Yeah. Everybody should hate them. Yes, everybody should hate them. So we did say this was coming, though, when we first talked about the story a few weeks ago. You guys remember the story about the Chiefs lineman that got his doctorate? He's officially a doctor.
LDT?
Yeah, an MD. And he had petitioned,
MD?
Yeah, he had petitioned.
A lot of letters.
It is a lot of letters. But he had petitioned the NFL to put MD on the back of his jersey, and they basically said, we're not sure, but we'll talk about it. It should be all right. Well, they came back this week and basically gave no answer. They had a chance to have a good story, and instead they just said, nah, we're going to take a pass on this. So,
fucking idiots.
Yeah, so Duvernay Tardif on the back of his jersey, it'll just say that. No good reason, and this was an easy one. This was a slam dunk for the NFL to just get some little bit of goodwill. Like, it would mostly go unnoticed, especially if you're not a fan of the Chiefs.
Well, it wouldn't go unnoticed because you know they'd bring it up every single game, which is a good thing. You should.
Well, yeah, but every single game that the Chiefs play. So if you're not watching a Chiefs game, you're generally probably not going to see it. But I'm saying it wouldn't have become like national news. Unless you're a really big study of the game, you probably wouldn't. It might not come across your radar. But for fans who are generally like me, who are generally just, bitter about the way the NFL handles everything and their PR decisions they make, this was an easy one to be like, you know what? Good for you, NFL.
Yeah,
you screw up a lot of things, but you got this one right.
I would love to see this dude legally change his name to add MD at the end of his name, and then they can't turn him down. Well, because they allow dudes to have like senior and junior
and
on their name. Yeah, so
when they opened up that can of worms, you kind of opened yourself up to this type of thing. And I know that those are legal titles, and this technically isn't that. But I mean, it's nothing. It's not harming anybody by doing it, and it's something that you have to work really hard to achieve. You think that the NFL would celebrate something?
That's
like
the thing.
That they would want more guys who they could use him as an example. Be like, yeah, I mean, this is the type of quality person that the NFL produces.
Well, and you think about how the NFL raises up Pat Tillman and his sacrifice, and they keep talking about that, which obviously is a one of those stories you want to bring up all the time, and the fact that he turned down his NFL career to go serve his country, and like they keep bringing that up. This is in the same vein.
Absolutely.
Of here's a positive story of one of our athletes. It's so stupid of them to not see this through and allow him to put it on the back of his jersey.
Who will make a much greater impact after his NFL career is over, and instead they just want to ignore it.
Meanwhile, they let fucking Chad Johnson change his name to Ocho Cinco and put that on the back of his jersey.
Jesus, I completely forgot.
Yeah,
thinking about that parallel, but wow.
But he did change. He legally changed his name, so there's the rub. LDT, just change it. Change the name and add it on so that they have to let you do it.
I would totally buy a jersey if he did that.
All the team petty.
It would be.
By the way, Robert Taylor from MMA to the Max podcast. If you guys haven't heard that before, make sure you check that out. They're on Facebook Live right after us. No, I think they switched to YouTube. Go check them out. He said about this beer, plot twist, it's just a bad batch.
That would be actually a really good plot twist.
It would be really funny. Well, it's like we were talking about last week. They just screwed up and they were like,
Oh, yeah.
This is an orange juice beer now, and it's a limited run.
We meant for that to happen.
Yep. All right, moving on. One of the big stories from the World Cup this week was South Korea's big 2-0 win over Germany that knocked the defending champs out of the World Cup. Germany losing 2 games in the group stages. First round to Mexico, and then this to South Korea. So it was a big deal. You're like, fuck them. That just registered. So going into that game, though, Mexico was leading the group. They had the best chance to move on out of anybody else in the group. The only way Mexico could have been eliminated was if they lost to Sweden by more than 1, and if Germany won by more than 1 over South Korea. So there was a lot that had to happen for Mexico to get eliminated. But Mexico almost did. They screwed up pretty bad. They lost 3-0 to Sweden. So all Germany had to do was win, and they were going through. But luckily for Mexico, Germany shit the bed even worse. With time running out, I think it might have been in stoppage time, South Korea headed one through to take a 1-0 lead, which pretty much cemented Mexico going through, because at that point, the worst that was going to happen was Germany was going to tie it, and Mexico was in on a tie. So Mexican fans were celebrating like crazy. We've seen videos of them like grabbing Korean people and throwing them around and like being super excited. Just a really good feel-good story. Until some hosts on Telemundo got a hold of it. And now 2 hosts from a Telemundo morning show, Un Nuevo Dia, are under fire after celebrating the win by doing the slant eye gesture live on the show and holding it for like 20 seconds. Like they just kept doing it.
Of course, thinking they were honoring them.
Right.
That's always
so Telemundo has since released an apology. The 2 hosts have been suspended.
Come on,
people,
guys,
stop doing that.
I don't understand why that keeps happening.
It happened. Who was the baseball player that got in trouble for that last year? Somebody did it to Yu Darvish, and they got caught. They got caught in the dugout, and it was.
And I can't remember who it was, but I was thinking more of the Spain basketball team when they did it.
Yeah. What the fuck? I forgot about that.
That was
one.
the first
Holy
one that
shit.
jumped to mind when you had said something about the story. I thought Spain basketball team as a team did
right.
it. And then, I forgot about the baseball thing with Yu Darvish, but that happened last season. I mean,
unreal. Just stop doing
happening.
that. Stop doing it. It's so unreal to me that these guys will not stop doing the slant eye gesture. But those dudes are suspended. I don't know. They probably won't get fired. But live TV. Just
don't do
doing
it.
that move.
Don't do it. It's not cool. It doesn't honor anybody. It's completely offensive.
No, it's cool. This is what they look like.
Yeah, they look like this.
Jesus Christ, man.
All right, well, moving on. We've got another follow-up in the week of follow-ups. Last week, we talked about the petty Houston Rockets fans down there giving Ayesha Curry's restaurant that hasn't opened up yet poor ratings and 1-star reviews on various platforms. Mr. Curry, Steph Curry, caught wind of this, and he decided to go his own route of petty. Steph took to Twitter, and he tweeted out, quote, "Hey, at Ayesha Curry, I guess I'll have Eat at Smoke in Houston to myself twice a year. Shrugging emoji. More ribs and shellfish and burrata and duck wings and instant bacon and salmon and Brussels sprouts and fried rice and mac and cheese and cornbread. And did I say ribs? For me. Hashtag 5-star review." End quote.
Cool, man.
So he basically gave the restaurant menu.
Yeah. But, okay, so out of this whole thing, the weirdest thing to me, they got fried rice at a barbecue joint place? That's weird, right?
That was when I first read that, I thought, I don't think I've ever been to a barbecue place with fried rice.
Yeah,
there's not many barbecue places that have rice in any capacity, let alone fried.
It's like potatoes. There's mashed potatoes and like
some type of potato.
Yeah, like but
it's all starch and meat. But
that's a very strange thing to have on the menu at this barbecue joint.
Whatever they do, Ayesha, Steph, don't slant your eyes if you're trying to promote. If you're trying to promote the fried rice,
I'm so glad.
Please,
I don't know if I telegraphed the joke or what, but that's exactly where I was going with it. Was just don't do it, man.
Yeah, but there you go. You know, if you're gonna attack Steph Curry's wife, then know that he's gonna come at you hot and heavy and hit you with that mean tweet.
He could have really gotten him too, and just been like, I guess I'll celebrate the next Western Conference championship in Houston at this place. I mean, that's if you're gonna go at him, go at him. Don't do this bullshit about
this is
here's
so
the
Steph.
menu.
But I was gonna say this was so Steph.
It's like that stupid commercial that he's got now where he's like, I
the
got
car
a bad
commercial.
side.
Yeah,
Honey,
yeah,
get
yeah.
some milk.
Nobody believes that for a
So-
second. It's so cornball.
He should just be chewing his mouthpiece the whole time in the car. Fucking turd. All right, moving on here. There's a disturbing story that came out this week. There was a dead body that was found in the basement of Giants DB Janoris Jenkins, inside of his house in the basement. Jenkins wasn't even in the state when it happened, and as of today, his brother has been charged with the murder of that person. It was a family friend that was living there, and horrible story. All the headlines this week were dead body found in Janoris Jenkins' house. A lot of things that went around that. So nothing really to joke about unless you're an anonymous person on the internet.
Those people
you joke about everything.
everything.
Because after the story broke, someone went to Jenkins's Wikipedia page and added, on June 26, 2018, Eli Manning's career was found in the basement of Jenkins's New Jersey home. Zing! Oh, man. That is cold-blooded, dude. That's a tough one to joke about a day after it happens.
I was gonna say the details hadn't even dropped yet, and they were already making jokes on Wikipedia pages.
And just taking down Eli for no good reason.
Collateral damage over here. This guy's bitter about the way Eli's played the last couple of years and has decided, I'm just gonna take this shot. I'm gonna drag his name into this really effed up situation with a murder involved.
I mean, I don't really feel bad for Eli.
The internet is just a field full of savages. That's it. Just a field full of them.
First of all, who thinks to do that? Like, that's the crazy thing. I would have never.
But that happens all the time on Wikipedia where people do that. Like, and it's like instantaneous. These people are sitting by their computer waiting for fucking shit to happen. They're like, I'm on it. And then, like, within minutes of the announcement, like, got a sick burn.
And then it like stays. That's the best part about it is people will change the Wikipedia page and then sit back and wait. Because then it comes on and they're like, this has been here for 4 days. And they're like, how has nobody caught this yet? That's some savage shit right there.
People are dicks. But it's funny.
Works for me. I'm fine with it.
All right, former Cavalier and like 30 other teams, Richard Jefferson, came out this week on Instagram. I think this actually might have been yesterday, but he ended his friendship with LeBron James in a jokey fashion, of course.
It was legit. I like that Joe asked me that, by the way, when Joe
he joking?
found this story. Joe was like, he was kidding, just so you know. I was like, I fucking get it. I'm not an idiot.
But with free agency looming and everybody talking LeBron, Jefferson took to Snapchat and he posted, quote,
it was Instagram, not Snapchat, old man.
Oh, Jesus, it's one of the grams I don't have.
It was Snapchat.
Ah, damn it.
Oh, take a shot for trying to correct me on my own story. I fact checked that. And like, when you said that, I'm like, wait a minute. I actually Googled to make sure I didn't put that wrong.
I skimmed. That's my bad.
Thank you, Joe. Anyway, while Mike's taking a shot, let me get back to the quote. Interrupting my reading. It is with great remorse that I am writing this. After many years as a peer and many years as a friend and teammate, I have decided to end my friendship with LeBron James. I am saying this publicly so that the fans and media members can please stop asking me where he is going in free agency. I don't know, my family doesn't know, and neither do my kids. Unfortunately, I live in Los Angeles, so the questions are unavoidable, but hopefully this helps to clear things up. Truth be told, I never liked the guy. He works too hard, it makes the rest of us look bad. He's my son's favorite player, and I view that as a complete betrayal of how hard I've worked to put a roof over his head. I'm sorry I'm having to give this Drake response, but I feel like this is the best way to address this issue that I'm clearly losing also. I wish everyone the best of luck in free agency, teams and players. Oh, and obscene gesture to Channing Frye, also just because. End quote. Man, Richard Jefferson, that's classic.
That's really good. But if you think about it, so when he said something about his kids, I wonder how much these guys' kids get pestered by like the media and like people trying to figure this stuff out.
Man, when there's media reports out here about where LeBron's kid is signing up to play high school ball next year, you know that media members won't stop at anything.
That's a little different because
I know it's a direct correlation to the story, but I'm saying you don't think that there's anybody that you don't think that they'll try to get to LeBron's son's friends,
right? No, I get it. I'm just saying, like, I don't think about that when I'm hearing all these stories about like the free agency and what's coming up. I don't think about the thought that they might be asking kids what the hell's going on.
these reporters are trying to get.
Not
the
to mention,
scoop.
kids will fucking tell it. They'll spill
That-
it.
oh, yeah.
quick.
Remember the story we did about the Indians re-signing?
Yeah.
Right in the
Yeah.
booth on live TV before it had even been announced. Kids will fuck up your world. Don't tell them shit. I walked in tonight and Jude told me you were on the shitter. Didn't even ask. First thing he said, "Hi, Scott. Daddy's pooping on the potty."
Daddy go poop.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, Jude.
Well, that's my boy. He knows what's up. Sorry, Scott Skrzyzewski said, "How's Janoris Jenkins' brother not a motherfucker of the week candidate?" A little peek behind the curtain, man. It's because we were doing the story. We like to keep the motherfucker of the week nominees separate from the stories that we do, and it's a better fit in Upper Deck than.
Also, if you commit murder, you're not just a motherfucker. You're a felon. So
Yeah, I mean
you've got worse things to deal with than us calling you a motherfucker a week if you're committing murder.
although it would have been good to put him up against Hanley Ramirez's friend, because then it could have been Hanley Ramirez's friend versus Janoris Jenkins' brother.
Could have been a solid 2 thing.
Because whatever. Hindsight. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for pulling that one and making us doubt everything we've done so far in the show. Let's get into the last story here in Upper Deck. So apparently, the scientists that have created Tom Brady have tweaked his programming so that he actually acts a little bit like a human.
Bullshit.
We've seen for years how he's just a robot, but he is starting to be a little bit more. I think he's becoming sentient. He's learning how to love, which is a little strange to see an android start to learn that. They might have gone too far though, because old Tommy low-key gave away pretty big secret on. It was actually on Instagram this week.
Hey, why didn't you fuck that up in the script?
I did.
You call me out in your own text. You're the motherfucker of the week. Wow. I was hoping you were paying attention. Oh, I'm totally reading along.
It was on Instagram this week. He leaked out that he likes to eat booty. So it started with Barstool Sports putting up a picture on Instagram of a hippo biting another hippo on the butt with the caption, quote, "As soon as Bay gets out of the shower." Hashtag AssEatinSZN, which is a fantastic hashtag. Well done on that one. So obviously they get tons of likes on that. There's a lot of comments. Well, buried in the comments was Tom Brady, and it's the blue check mark, definitely Tom Brady's account. It was a few crying, laughing emojis and the word, "Yep."
Inadvertently outing yourself is
so
the best.
Confirmed, Tom Brady has tongue punched Gisele Bundchen's fart box at least once. At least.
Oh my God.
And it was after a shower. There was
I'm in tears. Hashtag AssEatinSZN. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to hashtag that for no good reason. Oh my God, that is the best.
I'm just so glad. So for the record, this is the second time we've done a booty play story in Upper Deck. The first was Gabrielle Union outing Dwayne Wade for liking his booty played with. She talked about how guys never talk about it, but guys really do like getting their butthole played with. And now Tom Brady outing himself
for eating that booty.
Yep, he goes. Tom Brady going ass to mouth on his own, like he does his own. Anyways, moving on. Okay, sorry.
I don't know where you're going with that. It's been Upper Deck. Upper Deck brought to you by Minutemen, who I'm sure they're very proud that we ended that
Moving
story
on.
before mentioning their names.
Minuteman tickets. Use the code AssEatinSZN.
All your ticketing needs.
Guys, this is a very special show because it's been a while. We haven't done this since before the 100th episode.
Opening up the phone lines.
Phone lines are open.
The drunk line.
440-37.
I forgot what it was called. It's been so long. The
Yeah,
drunk
we
line is
haven't
open.
taken a call in a while. So 440-37 drunk. The line is open. Feel free to call in. Talk about whatever you want. You can talk about AssEatinSZN. You can talk.
Please don't call it and talk about AssEatinSZN.
I would love it if every single person called in tonight just to talk about AssEatinSZN.
Like, just our listeners. We just provoked them.
Just super hot takes about eating ass.
Well, guess what we're in for.
All right. First thing I wanted to talk about today was the launch of a very important league, everybody.
The biggest. Undefeated, never lost.
The JBA launched this week. Yes, that is
Worthy
damn
of
right.
the air horn.
This is LeVar Ball's Big Baller Brand League that he created to compete with the NCAA, and it was going to be the best league. That he knows all the big words. They were going to be fantastic. They opened to about 13 people in the crowd and some of the worst basketball I have ever seen. I watched a video that was 54 seconds long, and it contained at least 12 missed shots from both teams. It was awful.
Didn't a dude drop 54 points in the very
Dude,
first
the
game
scores
or
were
crazy?
unreal.
Yeah, 144 to 150.
Yeah, there was no defense being played.
Not a single
and
stitch.
It didn't look like... It was basically like if you go to the Y and you watch a pickup game,
Yeah.
only with young dudes instead
Yeah,
of
with
old
guys
guys
who've
with
got
rec specs.
skills. I mean, relative.
With guys.
Relative to the Y.
They were bad.
Okay.
I mean, it was bad. This league, there is no way this... I don't even think it makes it through the summer. It is painful, dude. It is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Did you watch any of it, Joe?
I just saw clips, but his own son, Leangelo, the one that did not get drafted, say that it would be a complete step back and waste of time for him to play in his own dad's league.
Wait, what?
Leangelo's out of the family.
Wait, I was going to say, I was like, one of them is firing back. They've all been stone-faced and shut-mouthed. I'm sitting there thinking they've got a Joe Jackson situation.
Nope, Leangelo's gone, man. He's
going to disappear.
Yeah, he is.
Hanley's people going to get him. I mean, damn. You don't
I
talk
didn't
shit
see
about
that.
I didn't see that either.
That is that's cold.
That's
man.
the bigger story. One of the ball sons talking shit.
Joe buried the lead on this one. He could have commented on this one when we were figuring out the show and just been like, "Yeah, by the way, Leangelo says this is a piece of shit."
He wanted to wait to have his moment of shine during the show. I totally get that. I'm not even mad at him for that. I'm not even mad at him for that. I would have done the same thing. Oh, by the way, you guys hear this information? Just picked it up. Just came across my Twitter feed.
Is it only streaming on Facebook Live? Is that the only way to watch this?
I mean,
okay,
who in the world
Okay,
wants to sit and watch anything on Facebook Live, let alone a league like this? Oh,
we can say that now that we're
shit.
on YouTube.
Yeah, that's why we moved to YouTube. Whoops.
There was when I had scrolled past and saw that it was on there. 15,000 viewers at one point.
Really?
I mean, it was like the first game, so people are intrigued and they want to see. I think
XFL numbers.
Yeah, now that it's out there and
you'll see 15
people have
viewers.
seen, it's gonna be rough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the shitty thing. I thought this was a kind of a good idea.
We both
to
did.
have
We thought it
like
was a
an
great
option,
idea.
maybe force the NCAA's hand, but no, it's gonna be bullshit and it's gonna suck. Just
Glorified
like the Big Baller
Y
brand,
pickup.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get
It's
better
kinda
talent.
disappointing.
It's a little disappointing.
Because
I mean,
I still think the idea is solid, but I think the execution here is what's lacking. I think you need somebody who's a little bit more sane than LeVar running the operation and getting things kind of put in order. I mean, this seems it seems like a bootleg version of the XFL. Because
Right.
the XFL launched and it had some good ideas and there were some things that you see, but then it got cartoonish and Vince really didn't plan much and scrap plans along the way. I feel like if you could take this idea and put it in front of somebody who was really smart and who they could find a way to make this work. I just don't
but
think
you say that it's not like this idea is new. Like,
no, it's not new.
So
but, I
the
mean,
people who
neither
are
is-
smart aren't. They know it's not a good idea. They know that you're not going to be able to compete with the NCAA.
Everything's not a good idea until it is. I mean, if you get smart enough people
That's
in
a
a
fair
room,
point.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
that's
just
a
saying. I
fair
mean, you get enough smart people who really focus on it and market it well. I mean, some people would say, "Big Three, that'll never work." That league's pretty successful after 1 year.
How much do you guys think tickets are going for?
Oh, dude, they're ridiculously
They
expensive.
have to be
They're
because
like
the shoes are
they're
$40
expensive.
to $100.
That's unreal. And,
Okay,
and-
there you go. Smart people wouldn't do that.
But they're also. I saw that LeVar had a video where he was offering students at whatever school they were going to next. He was offering student tickets for like dirt cheap. So he's trying to get some type of.
That's fine, but still, if,
$40 to $100 though is fucking ridiculous.
for a startup league, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Smart people wouldn't do that. You would know that you can't introduce a product like this.
Smart people wouldn't sell shoes for $500 either.
Again, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the guy who's running this operation is not a smart person. A businessman would know better for these things. There's a lot of like technical things that LeVar just doesn't possess that it's a great idea.
How long until a story comes out that these dudes aren't getting paid, like they don't get paid anything and they're like suing LeVar because he's clearly not making money on this.
Another week. Like next week when the checks don't clear on Friday, they'll be like, we ain't getting paid. The league might shut down in 2 weeks.
This is going to be worse than...
LeVar going to be like, hey, y'all, I'm mailing them checks, but don't cash them shits until next month.
I gotta shuffle around some funds.
Yeah. Like I got it, but just hold on to those checks. They're dated for next month anyway, so you'll be all right.
Scott chimed in and said, honestly, that's what the XFL should have done, run against college instead of the pros. Yeah, I could see that argument, although I feel like college football is such a juggernaut too.
They're both, but I mean, there's more of an in. Again, it's just the idea just needs to be cooked longer. I mean, the XFL had great ideas and everything. It's just they wanted to get it out and they wanted to do it now, and it was just too fast, and they didn't think everything through. And I mean, you see that with them trying to relaunch it now.
Right.
They're taking their time on doing everything and trying to get it right.
Vince still doesn't know what he's doing.
I was going to say, we still have no idea. Vince probably still doesn't have any idea, but it's a better idea.
We're going to play football? Oh, cool. Where are the teams? We don't know yet. What are the rules? We don't know yet, but people will stand for the anthem.
Trump will be a fan. We know that.
And you'll know what a catch is. All right, that's it. That's all you need to know. We'll
see in 3 years. But yeah, no, I mean, you just have to have smart people making the decisions, and they just don't. I mean, it's LeVar Ball. So
yeah,
this is
all right.
As much as a great idea is probably doomed to failure.
Should we play some bets on how long the JBA is going to last
between us? Like,
yeah,
I'm not doing it for shots.
No. We'll just
just in general.
Yeah, just throw it out there.
Half a season. I mean, I
don't even know how long their season is.
Half of whatever they plan to play is all they're doing. They plan to play 4 games. And
I think there's only 4 teams in the league. I don't even think there's that many teams in the league.
I didn't know what the starting point was, but half.
All right. That's fair. I'm going to say they make it through the summer. I'm going to give them to the end of August. So whatever that is.
I mean, I would guess that would be a whole season.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they only play 1 game every month. Who knows? Who knows what the schedule looks like?
The championship is August 15th.
I'm going to say they get through that just because they probably have stuff. Okay. They probably have stuff booked, and you can't back out at this point.
That's true. And they'd have to pay all the vendors and all
that
stuff.
And there's contracts with the players.
True. Okay, so 1 season.
They get
one
through
and done.
the season. Yeah.
That sounds about right. They'll ironically be the one and done league. After all of this, they will be one and done.
There are 8 teams.
8 teams, 8 instead of 4.
They doubled your number, bro.
Killing it.
LA, New York, Philly, Houston, Dallas, Chicago, Seattle, and Atlanta.
So which one is LeBron going to?
He's going to go to the LA team.
I want him to go to the Seattle
Play
team.
with Melo.
I wanted to be like, I wanted to bring professional basketball back to Seattle, and this was the best way. The big baller league.
It's just LeBron.
Just LeBron and a bunch of dudes.
He's like, I need to win rings, man. I gotta
legacy is at
Jordan, so I need rings.
Nobody's beating the Warriors. I'm just getting titles.
Be like your dad playing in the backyard against like you and all 5 of your friends, and he still dunks on that like 6-foot hoop over everybody.
Yes.
Swats everybody into the stands.
I would watch this.
I would watch this. That would get me to tune in. It'd be awesome if each team, or one team each game had just all-time LeBron. He just played on both teams. It was LeBron on both teams. It was 4-on-4, but each team also got LeBron.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
That would be fun to watch.
I'm on board. We were talking about the Harlem Globetrotters.
Got to give us gimmicks.
That would be way better than the Globetrotters.
Oh, yeah.
Joe, do you want to ask that question, by the way? Let's throw that out to everybody. Joe had a question this week about the Globetrotters and the Washington Generals.
If LeBron was to join the Washington Generals, would they finally beat the Globetrotters?
Scott, what's your answer on that one?
I said that the Generals could win the East with LeBron. So not only would they win their first game in franchise history, they'll win the East.
Here's the thing. No, they would lose. Even if LeBron was on the team. No, because it's fucking scripted. It's not real.
Nah.
Now, even...
They got ballers.
Because if you let them play, if you let the Globetrotters play the Generals, like straight up not throwing confetti and shit, the Generals are going to win a game.
Well, yeah.
So it doesn't matter about LeBron. Adding LeBron under the current rules, it's a loss every time still.
Nah.
Yes, they're not going to change the script.
They're winning the East, bro.
Well, yeah, because the East sucks, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's
a fair point.
That's what I'm actually saying is that
the Generals.
LeBron plus the
East,
Generals can win
but
the
they
East.
still lose to the Globetrotters because it's still they play the Globetrotters in the finals and lose.
Oh, yeah. Well, they also lose to the Warriors in the NBA Finals.
Didn't the Generals, like, I think they just add random dudes from the town that they're in to play in that game. I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. Like, they have a couple guys that tour around, but then they'll just bring in, like,
Here's a
dudes
better
from the town.
better question. What about if we bring back the defunct A&1 league? Get Skip to my Lou and all those boys back.
Yeah.
Would they team up with LeBron and win? Rafer Alston was an NBA player. He played in the
They got the
league.
East. They got the East.
They got the East. All right. Fair enough. As long as we've baseline established that 4 other dudes on LeBron can take the East. All right, fair enough.
JB says the feed's a little laggy. Sorry, JB. You know, it's that's what happens with the internet, man. Sometimes it gets laggy. We're doing our best here. Should we do White Motherfucker while we're waiting for somebody
White
to call in?
Motherfucker, another thing we haven't done in a while. Let's do it.
Well, we did it last week, but kind of.
Oh, we did it
Because
Joe
we
did
did a question to all of us because the dudes from 50 West were all about that idea when we told them about it.
They
White
were
Motherfucker,
excited
They were
about
like,
that.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then Joe had to come in with a super hard question about all the members of Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that shit. I knew I was done.
I was like, all right, man, stop talking so I can say ODB. Oh, he said ODB. I'm out. All right, see you guys.
Red Man, Method Man.
All right. So the last time we really did White Motherfucker, I got the question right, apparently, which I didn't know until just before the show. So I will ask you the question. If you get it right, I have to do a shot of Hypno. If you get it wrong, you have to drink a really warm, disgusting Smirnoff Ice that's been sitting down here in the basement since our 100th episode. In the song Regulate by Warren G and Nate Dogg, what is the street corner where Warren G got jacked? Are you fucking kidding me?
2-1 and Lewis.
Yeah, all right.
No,
Thank you,
I had to
thank you.
sing it in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Oh,
sitting there
man,
and that was I didn't say anything because usually that
left.
means I didn't have anything, but
Yeah.
I was literally reciting the lines in my head. I'm like, all right, I'll just get to the part in my head. I'm like, okay.
a hook's a left on 2-1
Yes.
and Lewis.
And you are the white motherfucker.
Yep. I'm proud of you, man.
Fair enough.
really
You did say it was an easier one, and that was. But again, I just had to get there in my head. I was sitting there, just hit the. Yeah.
I got to do.
You motherfucker, man, you white as mayonnaise.
Boom. Joe coming with the crucial drop.
All right. Well, that means I got to do a shot of Hypno, and you are back to asking the questions,
Which
as
is
we move
really
forward.
more pressure.
Yeah, it is.
It's more of a pain
tough
in the ass
to
to come up with the
questions.
question.
Oh, Hypno's still disgusting,
Oh yeah.
especially
Did
after
you forget
that
from
beer.
last week?
Yep,
Although
sure did.
we used to. That was how we used to do when we did Hypno in college. Was Hypno and orange juice. So I wonder with the beer, a little Hypno might not be too bad as a chaser.
Nah, it's all right.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's still that disgusting Hypno flavor.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much that drowns it out.
Yeah, apparently the live feed is lagging. Sorry, everybody. We'll get that fixed for next week. Do you guys want to talk about some NBA free agency rumors?
Uh-oh.
Oh, you hear the whales?
That's the sound of the whales. The whales are in studio with us.
All right, so Stephen A. Smith said today on First Take,
Made all the waves.
he said that apparently LeBron reached out to Kevin Durant and said that LeBron texted Durant and said, hey, you want to come play with me in L.A.? And that set the world on fucking fire. Everything was good to go for LeBron now to go to L.A. That's one of his landing spots that people are talking about anyways. Paul George is opting out. Trade talks between between the Spurs and the Lakers are heating up on Kawhi. So we have the makings of a super team in LA. How pissed are you about that, Scott?
Oh, so pissed.
Can we back up though for a second? Durant's not going, right?
No,
he's not going to go to LA, right? There's no way.
He's not leaving Golden State. There's no.
Do you think this whole text is bullshit? Like, do you think LeBron really did?
No. I mean,
reach out to KD.
I absolutely think that LeBron make the call. Why not? Right? I mean, you have to, but just based on the fact that it could possibly happen. I mean, if you're LeBron, shoot your shot, but you go in.
But doesn't that make LeBron look like a bitch to reach out to the two-time NBA Finals?
At this point, the
MVP?
line has been blurred as far as who's a bitch and teaming up and all that. Like there's, I don't even
like.
know
I think it's a really bad look for LeBron. I understand you need to team up with some superstars in order to beat Golden State.
But this has really become WWE when you think about it. As far as these guys joining up, I mean the baseline for bitchness. I mean, everybody said it was Kevin Durant, but then, I mean, everybody since then has done some variation of this. So was it really a bitch move what he did, or was it just ahead of everybody else?
No. Well, my point being, if I'm LeBron, obviously I think LeBron is very focused on trying to get this Jordan comparison where he is better than Michael Jordan.
Right.
And sending a text message to Kevin Durant to, hey, come team up with me in LA, you're basically never going to get that comparison.
I mean,
never. I mean, people are going to point to that all the time where they're going to say
people that
he
don't
needed
give it
Kevin
to him,
Durant
no matter what anyway. So, I mean,
I understand that, but
if I'm LeBron, I just don't care. It's whatever it takes. I mean, the Cleveland hashtag, whatever it takes at this point. His career is winding down, so you look around and you think, whatever I got to do to get more rings at this point. I keep getting to the finals, and it doesn't work. You know, every now and then I have he's got 3 or 4 at this point.
Rings?
Yeah.
3.
Okay. I mean, but we all know he's lost a whole bunch of other ones. Screw it. Do whatever you got to do to try to figure out the easiest way to get there. And if that's calling up somebody and teaming up with them who's currently on the team that you can't beat, then so be it. I mean, what else has he got to lose at this point? All you're going to do, the worst that can happen is you keep getting these finals and keep losing, and that does the same exact thing to tarnish it. I mean,
okay, but
what's worse, tarnish is, I guess, the question you're asking. Joining up with somebody like Kevin Durant, or just sitting there and keep losing finals?
Well, and that's what I guess that's my point. Like, because LeBron could potentially bring in. We're at a point in the NBA where you need more than just one superstar in order to beat Golden State.
Minimum 3.
So nobody will dog him for having additional superstars come to Cleveland.
Right.
I take that back. Jordan Dick Riders will absolutely dog him because it'll be, Jordan never had to do it, and they'll totally forget the fact that Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest players to ever play the game. But we'll be like, Jordan did it all himself. But because that's just how that goes. So I think nobody would dog LeBron to have a couple stars come to Cleveland. Nobody would shit on that. People will totally shit on LeBron and Kevin Durant going to LA to then challenge Golden State.
I'm sure, but again, what does it matter if you're LeBron? They're gonna shit on you either way.
But I think his legacy really matters to him. I think he's really worried about his legacy. So the idea of reaching out to Kevin Durant makes no sense to him.
But your legacy takes a hit. Either way, there's going to be some people that say, well, you had to go there and do it and you won those rings, so I don't care about it. That's part of your legacy. Or there's going to be the people that just continue to, man, you lost all these finals, and that's a bigger hit on your legacy than, the rings that you got. So it kind of doesn't matter. Like, you're in a lose-lose situation. No matter what, there's going to be a faction of people that disregard everything you did, so you might as well do what you've always tried to do, and that's win a ring. Whatever it takes.
You're saying, hey, LeBron, you do you.
Yeah. I mean, I really am. Like, I've never had really a problem with LeBron, except for the decision I did. But after that, I got over it, and then I've never had a problem with LeBron. And at this point in his career, it's almost done. And
that's the crazy thing. LeBron's
about
to be 34 years old, man. Yeah. He is not. He's not going to last too much longer.
End. So he's got to do what he's got to do.
How much longer do you think LeBron has at 34 years old? Now, the dude is still playing at a crazy level
he's playing
for
at a
being
crazy
34
level.
years old.
But eventually, Father Time wins.
Exactly.
So you're looking at what, another 3 years max? That would put you to 37. That would be crazy. And I'm not saying that once he hit 37, he couldn't still be productive. But I think you can get another 3 years at the level that we've
where he's at now.
Expect. Yeah.
So how much is that gonna? How much is that
decline.
gonna play into where he goes? Because I feel like whatever team takes LeBron is like. We got a small window with him. The window is closing.
I don't know. I think any team at this point is just knows exactly what they're getting, and they don't care about the future with him. They're like, all right, we got this year with LeBron, and we'll roll with it from there and figure it out after that. Because even in this LA situation, the way the money is all, even if they could somehow trade for Kawhi, there's no guarantee they. I mean, in LA situation, they would literally be looking at we are a supermax title contender this year, and then we'll figure out next year however it goes, because they wouldn't be able to necessarily afford Kawhi Leonard. So
right,
and they don't care. LA just wants to be in the conversation and immediately be one of your finalists. So I don't think you're really looking at it in terms of how much longer does LeBron have left. You're just looking at it in terms of how much can we surround him with and get the guys that he wants to play with for next year. Can we win the title next year? Because if you get those guys and you can win that title in 1 year, whatever. Fuck it. We got it. Yeah, we got it. I mean, that, and you beat Golden State, obviously going through, you're like, nope, it doesn't matter. Like, then you can start to worry about how much longer LeBron has left. But in that 1 year, they'd be like, it was totally worth whatever it took to get all of those pieces.
All right, so let's play this out here. Kevin Durant stays in Golden State because we all think he's staying, right?
Absolutely.
Nobody thinks he's going to LA.
Anywhere.
So let's say LeBron, Kawhi, and Paul George, because he's also doing his own version of The Decision with his 3-part special on ESPN. So those three, let's say those three go out to LA. You've got Golden State is still Golden State, and you've got Houston is still Houston with Chris Paul and James Harden, that lineup. Who comes out of the West?
Golden State. What? Golden State.
So
in
you
fact, out of those
you
three
don't
teams,
think anybody... Houston just pushed Golden State to 7 games. You don't think anybody out of those 3 teams, or out of Houston or LA with LeBron, Kawhi, and Paul George, you don't think they even challenge Golden State?
Challenge, sure. They push it to 6 games.
Jesus Christ, man.
What?
So you're saying there's no reason to go out west then?
That LA team, there almost isn't, but it's still your, like, I guess, best shot you want to say.
The guy who said LeBron is definitely going out west because, hang on, let me finish this out. You said he's definitely going out west, and then today you said he needs to get his ring. He wants to get his ring any way he can.
That's fine.
Is now saying it doesn't matter. Nobody in the West would beat Golden State. So
if Kevin Durant stays where he's at and that team stays healthy, and nobody's beating them. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I see the difference.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were saying if Kevin Durant went with LeBron and did all that, that's a different story. Then that changes the narrative. But if Kevin Durant stays where he's at and the Warriors stay exactly the way they are, nobody's beating him. I don't care what because, and actually, I still think that the Lakers would be the 3rd best team in that hierarchy because that Lakers team would just be the 3-headed monster and a bunch of scrubs.
Yeah, it really would.
They won't have anything else, so they're not beating Houston. I mean, you're looking at the same exact Western Conference Finals. Like,
wow. All right, in the East, is it just Boston versus Philly, or does Toronto somehow sneak in there? I had to ask. That
would actually be a weird thing because the Rockets would, or the Raptors would be super excited. I mean, yeah, I guess it'd be a three-headed monster race out there, all battling to see who was ever going to get to lose to the Warriors.
Joe, you're the NBA expert in the group. Do you think Scott's assessment here is accurate, that it doesn't matter if LeBron, Kawhi, and Paul George all go out to LA, they are the 3rd best team in the West?
They would probably be the 3rd best team. So I would say whoever is the 2 seed would have the better chance of making it out of the Western Conference Finals because they would play somebody lesser. So whoever is the 1 seed is going to get that LeBron team. If that happens, they'd be exorbitantly more tired probably than the 2 seed, whoever they get. And then it would just come down to who plays better.
Wow. Do you think Houston could beat Golden State?
Yes, I thought so this year.
That's true. He did. He did pick.
I was gonna say I would hope he wouldn't back out now. That'd be kind of.
I don't know. Maybe he watched and was like, "No, yeah, I was wrong." I'm glad you stuck to your guns there, Joe. Do you owe any more shots on that? You wanna pay up some shots?
Yeah, I owe 2.
All right, Joe owes 2 more shots to fire this one up, and Joe will be squared. He does owe a beer bong because he lost that Western Conference Final bet. So we'll get you that, Joe. I'm just gonna pour you a double here, Fireball. Ooh-wee. Good luck with that one, brother. All right, Joe is now squared away on his shots. We are actually. You have 5 to give.
I
still.
do. Shout out to the Warriors.
You're the first one to win a bet on the show.
Ah,
None of us have
right.
won a bet
Yes.
yet. All of us have lost.
Thank you, guys.
You
Thank
went with like the easiest choice.
Easiest, but I mean, you want to give people credit for never wavering. I said it last July
said-
after
you
everything
really did.
was done with free agency. I never said anything other than Cavs, Warriors.
You
would win.
wanna put a bet on before free agency and see if you.
Oh, no.
Okay, I tried. I figured that's my only shot.
Oh, I can cheat. You know what I do? Warriors. Warriors are winning it all.
Can we
next
put it down right now?
Yeah.
Put Scott down for the Warriors.
Put me down in ink. Warriors win the title next year.
Scott going with the Warriors before free agency even really kicks off. That's a ballsy move. Although you did just say that it doesn't even matter if the 3 best free agents.
I just told you how it would play out.
Where do you guys think LeBron ends up?
We had a bet on this, and I said in the
You
West.
said in
and
the West, but do you
I
have
still
a
think
specific
LA.
time?
Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, I think it's LA.
LA. Joe, where do you
That
think he's
sucks.
going? You still think he's going Cleveland?
Yep, I think he's staying. I think he's going to opt out, and then he's going to sign another,
1
basically
year?
a 2-year, but it'll be a 1 with a player option after the other one, and basically tell people you got basically a year, unless Cleveland can build something in this year, and go from there.
Do you think Kawhi comes to Cleveland if LeBron does that?
If Cleveland could get the trade, he would definitely.
Because
I mean, it's not really up to Kawhi, but if Cleveland could put the packages, because the report is San Antonio is not looking to rebuild, they're looking to stay the same. So that would require Cleveland to probably give up a ransom. So Kevin Love, peace out, maybe.
It's kind of hard to stay the same if you're losing like one of the top 3 players.
But
I
it's
mean,
not like he played last year, so
That's
they'd
true.
stay the
Oh,
same.
you're saying stay the same.
They want to stay
as
competitive.
this.
They're not going to rebuild.
I got you.
Basically because it's going to be Tony Parker and Pop and Manu's like last run. So they want to.
How do you, I mean, if you're the Spurs or any team in the West, how do you even handle this free agency? Because I guess you try to get LeBron and hope that's enough
it.
to beat Golden State,
Yeah.
but otherwise, like that's got to be so fucking frustrating to be a team in the West. Meanwhile, every team in the East is just like, I hope LeBron fucking leaves. I really hope LeBron goes out west.
Actually, I mean, there's quite a few teams that would have like a kind of legit shot. I mean, you're still looking at the ones you said: Boston, Raptors, and
Philadelphia.
There's Philadelphia. But I mean, the ones slotted in right below there, they're not that far away from those guys. Like, there's a giant gap between them and Cleveland when you're talking about LeBron, but there's not quite as giant of a gap between them and those other teams.
Yeah.
So, I mean, encouraged, I guess you could say. Like, you feel better about your chances. I mean, that's better than nothing. Like, I mean, because it's, hey, we have no hope, or hey, there's some hope. That's the way I feel. They'd still all lose. But.
All right, well let's end some NBA talk. Let's move on to the World Cup, the other thing that's happening. This is we're hitting that point in sports, man, where it's just we're fucking grasping at straws for shit to talk about. Like we just spent 20 minutes talking about scenarios if LeBron went to LA. That's where we're at in the sports world right now, because nobody gives a shit about baseball. Even baseball fans don't, as evidenced by the link that Jim put in the group.
Well, I mean, you've got 2 giant baseball fans here, and we're both just... And my team's playing well, and I mean...
You're in first place.
Yeah,
Your team's in first place.
Don't get me wrong, I'm very excited, but at the same time, I'm still just...
My team has won like 10 of their last 12, and I was like, they have? Cool. That's pretty neat.
I mean, I generally know what the Braves are doing on a day-to-day basis, but it's still, it's baseball, and I get excited when it gets closer to the end of the season. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop for Atlanta, so there's that.
I think they'll be fine.
They're playing with house money. So
I think they'll be all
I'm
right.
enjoying the ride, but I could see them staying through, but they're a year ahead of what I thought they would be, so this is all just fun for me. I'm not like gonna be disappointed if all of a sudden they tank. It would suck if I just started watching losing baseball every day, but it would be all right. Well, I thought next year would be kind of the year that launched everything anyway, so this is just a year ahead of schedule.
It's pretty impressive what they're doing, and the Reds have completely turned it around under Riggleman. That team, they're almost. I think they might be playing 500 ball now under Riggleman. I thought I was the one that always thought Brian Price was getting a raw deal in Cincinnati. I was like, he can't be that. He's been dealt a raw deal. He's not the one doing this. The pitching is terrible. Mm-hmm. Nobody can hit. And then he gets fired, and all of a sudden they're playing super well. Like, it almost makes you feel like if Riggleman was there all year, the Reds might actually be in the mix in the Central.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes things just... It's one of those shake-up things that
Boyle put it best. He said the Reds look like they're having fun, and they never looked like they were having fun under Price. And he's right. It's a totally different mentality that you're seeing from that team.
But I mean, sometimes that just happens when you're talking about the voice that's been there. Price was there for a few years and under a bunch of losing teams there towards the end, and sometimes you just need a switch.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody thinks that Riggleman is the answer long term, I hope. I hope that fans aren't starting to think maybe this Riggleman thing will work out because that's fool's
They're
gold.
totally thinking that. They're absolutely thinking
baseball
that.
fans are so
yeah,
dumb.
They're dumb.
But I mean, it's nice. I mean, when you lose that bad to start the season and things look completely hopeless, it's nice to all of a sudden turn things around and hey, worth watching.
Yeah, I keep thinking back to what Bronson said, where he was like, "Those guys are just focusing on the last couple of games, and they're having fun with that." Crap Root Sports, who's this?
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, Scott, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I don't think there's any chance of this actually happening, but what I'd like to see would be LeBron signing with Boston and Boston trading Kyrie to the Lakers.
I would laugh my ass off if that happened.
So let's have Kyrie and Paul George and Kawhi or whatever they want to do go be the three in L.A. and let LeBron go join Boston. And tell me that wouldn't be fun.
All right, Scott, hang on. If LeBron goes to Boston, minus Kyrie, he's got Gordon Hayward there. He's got a good young lineup. Did they beat Golden State? Scott, did they beat Golden State?
I'd say no. I was waiting on the other.
Oh, okay.
Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Hell
I
no.
know his answer. I know his answer. You can ask this, Scott. All right, it's LeBron, Jesus Christ.
Have the best chance of anybody. I mean, you'd have Hayward, Tatum. You'd have the LeBron. Horford would still be playing there. I mean, you'd have Smart and Brown coming off the bench. They might.
Well, I like the way you think, and I kind of wouldn't mind to see that. I'd be all right seeing LeBron in Celtics green. Joe just threw up a little bit in his mouth. Joe's face right there was just like, "No, that's disgusting." Scott, I appreciate the call, man.
All right, well, I just wanted to throw that one out there.
All right, cheers, buddy. Good hearing from you, man.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
I think I know who is beeping in there. Yes, Jim, it is open. You just called in while somebody was calling, so quit being a dick. Well, we squeezed in some baseball talk. I'm kind of proud of us that we squeezed in some baseball talk in there.
Yeah.
World Cup. Have you watched anything? I know you have been anti-World Cup.
I've seen highlights. I've seen stuff on as it comes through on Twitter. I through osmosis, I generally know what's going on, but I haven't sat down and watched a single minute.
Romelu Lukaku.
I'm fine.
Is a beast now.
I've heard so many more things, which is so funny because if
Belgium
we had
rolled through their group.
If we had never done that story about that song, he's just another guy, and I wouldn't know. But all of a sudden, that song took him to this level of folk hero, at least for the show.
Him and his 24-inch penis just scoring all the goals for Belgium.
But he's a baller.
They went undefeated in group play. They beat England today, so they've moved through. You've got there were some kind of shakeups. Obviously, Germany getting bounced early was a big surprise. Argentina almost got bounced. They snuck through. Really? Why? You just not a Messi fan?
Yeah, I don't like Messi. I've never been a Messi guy. So
I've never cared. Like when people talk about the GOAT discussion between Ronaldo and Messi, I'm always just
I always lean.
Who gives a shit?
Well, because I've only seen them play, I guess, really in World Cup play. But every time I'm like, how is there even a debate? Ronaldo seems hands down better to me. I mean,
the knock on Messi is basically the same knock on LeBron. He doesn't get it done on the big stage. He doesn't win enough on the big stage.
But that's fine. It's just even when I watch him play, though, Ronaldo just seems like the more dynamic, exciting player. There's just something about Messi that's just boring to me. I don't know. I don't see anything special when I watch him. Whereas Ronaldo, I'm like, that looks like a guy.
Ronaldo.
It's unreal.
He's kind of it is kind of crazy to watch him play. It's very ridiculous.
Like he stands out. Like my eyes are drawn to Ronaldo every time I see him play or whatever. I'm just like, damn, he's that good.
Yeah.
Like whereas Messi, sometimes he kind of gets lost in the games when I see him. I mean, there'll be long stretches where it's just like, is he still out there? Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess he is, but I don't know. To me, he just disappears more than Ronaldo. So,
do you have any? I mean, you haven't really been watching. Do you have any predictions on who you want to see win it, or do you don't give a shit whatsoever about the World Cup?
The U.S. I mean, I'm just rooting for good games. I mean, the games have been.
I'm rooting for good games that I haven't watched.
No, but I mean, I don't like when I hear, oh well, there was a big old blowout. I mean, that's no fun. But I mean, yeah, I haven't watched the games, but as long as they're close, that means that people are talking about it. So go for it. I have no predictions other than that somebody will win the World Cup.
I will say I'm disappointed.
And it won't be Germany.
I'm disappointed that Iceland didn't make it through. I really wanted to see that team go through just because of the story. Yeah. The fact that those dudes had to ask permission from work to go play in the World Cup. Their coach is a dentist that's like, yeah, I guess I could coach, whatever. And that the whole country was on board. They had 99% television audience for Iceland's first World Cup.
That's crazy.
Game. Yeah. Basically, every person that has a TV in Iceland was watching that first World Cup game.
And even some that don't.
Yeah.
99%.
Mexico was a team that's getting knocked because they sort of backed in because of the play today. But they also beat Germany.
Yeah.
But they have a shitty draw for the knockout round. They play Brazil in the first round of the knockout round. So I think that could be tough for Mexico. There was some drama that happened with Tim Howard about...
What?
Was it Tim Howard? No, it was Landon Donovan. Landon Donovan came out for an ad saying that he was cheering for Mexico. Like, cheer for... USA's not in this. Cheer for Mexico.
Oh, okay. Like an alternative team?
Yeah, and people ripped him to fucking shreds for it. Because U.S. soccer fans are trying to manufacture this rivalry with Mexico to make it seem like, no, you can't cheer for them. There are rivals. And it's basically this whole manufactured thing. It's not like it'd be different if Mexico was the reason why U.S. didn't make it into the World Cup.
I was just going to say, wasn't Mexico one of the teams that beat us, though, prior to us getting knocked out? Like, I think during qualifications or whatever, I remember them losing to Mexico.
It's possible, but U.S. fucking...
They lost
I think
everybody.
They lost to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah,
that was the reason why they didn't make it in.
I just have very good respect for soccer fans because all these fake football fans are like, hey, vote for conference lines once bowl play comes around. And
that's a good point.
Fuck that. Fuck them.
I'm with you.
I guess I just don't see Mexico's a fun team to watch. They're a fun team to play for. I like their goalie. It's kind of weird to just have this fake rivalry with.
There's a reason why we have 90% of the games in that fucking Olympics and World Cup or whatever that's coming up in 8 years. Fuck them all.
Joe, hit the air horn for yourself, please. Thank you. That was the hottest take that you'll hear on this show.
Joe just went full on MAGA on us.
I mean,
all it was wait.
Whoa. Wait. Hold on.
There's a reason why, God damn it, we fucking built that wall.
I didn't hear that. I just thought it was a funny take.
You can't play in the U.S. There's a reason why we got 80% of the games.
For the
there's
record,
going to be a giant fucking wall.
For the record, I was thinking you went full on Scotty Doesn't Know. I was like, that was a rant
It was
worthy
a
of
good
hitting the Scotty Doesn't Know music.
I'm disappointed that you didn't cut to the wide angle for that, because that was a perfect time for you to be wide angle on camera fucking railing against Mexico.
Bummer.
All right, quick soccer take. Hope Solo this week said that the issue with U.S. soccer and the reason why we're not making the World Cup and the reason why U.S. soccer sucks compared to everybody else in the world is because soccer is a rich white kid sport.
What?
That's her quote. She said it's a rich white kid sport, and families have to spend around $15,000, and that's why.
Go home, hope you're drunk. Again.
But she basically said poor Hispanic communities, black communities, rural communities, they can't afford to play in these leagues. And that's why, like, those kids are just like, well, then I'm not going to play soccer. And we are killing our own sport by just having rich white kids play it. Was essentially the take from Hope Solo.
It's just a weird thing to say.
It's a super weird thing to say.
Because the whole premise of soccer and why it is so successful in these other countries, and some of these smaller and third world countries, and a lot of it's because poor people can play it all the time, and they play it from a young age.
But that's what Hope Solo is saying. Is she's saying it is a very cheap sport. Compared to football, baseball, where you
just need the ball and some shin guards, and exactly. You're good to go.
Right, but she's saying that these leagues that are developing the good players and these top of the line players and the travel teams and the coaches that you need to hire, it's just too expensive, and it's surprising as an organization making money off the backs of athletes because they're just charging a shitload for these kids to get the coaching they need to move up, play in the college ranks, and eventually make it onto the national team.
It's the old welcome to America.
And if you look at our national team, there's a lot of fucking white guys on that team. There's a lot of white dudes.
Yeah.
So maybe she's not that
but
far
let's
off.
hit them with the code words. They play with grit. They're scrappy.
They're really intelligent players.
Yeah. They're heady guys.
For soccer, is scrappy fake fall on the ground?
Joe is on fire tonight. Give it up for Joe, everyone. I guess when you look at the demo of U.S. soccer,
we got a super white team, man.
Pretty white, but...
And that's not what our country is made up of. We're not... I guess there's a lot of white people in America, but I'm saying, totally.
That's not how our country's made. They're just the majority.
How about that fucking hot take? Ooh. America isn't just white people. There's other people besides white people. Our team, though, seriously, is like a bunch of white dudes. There was, for a while, one of the best defenders was a kid from Notre Dame. Rich, white kid.
And maybe that's why we keep losing.
I think as crazy as Hope Solo's statement is, and how it's totally geared to just
there could be some underlying truth.
I think she might be right.
Yeah,
and we talked about a little bit before the show about AAU and how there's obviously a cost for that, and clearly some poor families can afford that. But you guys pointed out that's just shoe companies funding that shit.
Yeah,
those families aren't paying for that.
Dude.
Maybe that's what we need. We need Adidas to fucking start pumping some money into these club soccer teams.
I can't believe that they don't already, though.
You would think, but you would think with the surge in popularity in soccer, I think it just comes down to at the pro level, there's not money to be made.
Yeah,
there's not enough money in MLS for shoe companies to really invest like they do for the NBA. The NBA is a fucking cash cow. Yeah. But it's no comparison to the MLS. So there's no advantage for them to pump that money into this travel teams and these, AAU style soccer clubs. So they don't do it. And then we're left with fucking
Landon Donovan.
Chad and
Guy's named Landon.
right? And we just fucking losing we can't even qualify for the World Cup. Hope Solo. I think it's
Started off calling her crazy bitch, and instead,
Yeah.
you know what? You might be
totally
right. Convinced ourselves that she was right. Oh, well, that's solid.
Joe, you look like you're looking something up over there. You got to drop in.
So there's a breakdown from Soccer America that says this was from 2015 that costs for one family for one whole year. This was like a private like AAU soccer traveling team was $17,500.
Holy fuck, man! That's one kid.
lot of money.
Can you imagine if you have more than one kid playing?
They had to buy their own cleats and gear since they're not sponsored, which was $1,200. Private lessons, if they ever did private lessons, it was $30 an hour.
Yeah,
so if you wanted your kid to be good, it'd be $1,500. And then they pay for their own travel and their own hotels if they want to travel outside. They only pay for the player. So if you're a parent and you want to go, so then it came out to be about $17,500 in 2015. So 3 years ago, that's how much it was.
And it's only gone up since then. You have to imagine. That's fucking crazy, man. Family, and that's one kid. Can you imagine if you have two kids who are good and you're trying to get you're dropping fucking $40,000 a year on your kids' soccer.
That's not even possible.
In the hopes that they get a college scholarship where you have to pay $35,000 a year. Fuck it, man. Like, like at that point, just pay for college. That's insane. Soccer is the rich white guy sport.
Damn.
Everybody wants to talk about lacrosse being the rich white kid sport. It's fucking soccer, man. That's crazy. Hope Solo, as nuts as she is 100% right.
Damn it. I always thought that golf was the rich white man's sport.
Well, I mean, it
still is, but
that's the old.
I guess I didn't. Yeah, I didn't realize how elitist soccer had gotten overnight. It makes you wonder how it's ever going to grow in popularity in this country.
But that's what's weird. It is growing in popularity. Like it still is a very popular sport.
Because that's generally how it goes. If you can't afford to play it, you go do something else. Then
well, hang on. That's the elite level. You can still afford to go play it. Like they still have the leagues that are dirt cheap to join, and like the CYO leagues are not that expensive, and you play in grade school, and you're paying whatever the school charges. So I don't think it's that expensive for an average player.
That's crazy.
But if you want to get good, fuck, man.
So in 2010, Forbes did the price of raising a golf star. It was $60 a year. $60,000
compared to the 20
for golf for a youth.
Compared to the 20 for soccer.
You ever seen the documentary on Netflix, The Short Game?
No.
Well worth the watch.
Yeah?
It's like dads and moms who are focusing, like trying to make their kids be the next Tiger Woods. They did it for a season on, I think it was like, I don't even know what station it was, but there was a TV series on it, but it's all based on this documentary on Netflix. Dude, it's so worth it.
Speaking of documentaries on Netflix,
holy shit.
New season of the Last Chance U is coming back.
Oh,
but they're moving to a new. I was gonna say there's no more Buddy.
Well, that's because the once that the lady left.
Yeah, I know.
She
that was the appeal.
Like Buddy was.
She was
fine
like the
to watch,
star
but
of
everybody
the show,
really watched it for the lady that we can't remember. That's who. That's who was really the star.
The academic advisor.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's the one.
She was the star of the show. One of the running back that had a bunch of issues this last season. He got signed by the Bears.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Good for him.
I think undrafted free agent by the Bears right after the draft. Though I remember seeing and it was like, oh, geez, because that was the headline: Last Chance U star signs with Bears or whatever. And I looked, I'm like, oh, I mean, I recognize him. That was the running back. And I can't remember if it was the first season or second season, but I think it was the second season because he was sitting there. No, the second season one. No, that was the one that had the brother. And they had that no, it was the first season. Yes. No, it just jogged my memory. I was like, oh, wait, that second dude ended up in a bunch of trouble. Never mind.
Is that kid still at Auburn, the quarterback, or is he gone?
I don't know. I'm not sure because I think he was a redshirt sophomore when he went there. So he would have had another year. So maybe this would be his last year of eligibility, I guess. So
he got in a little bit when he played at Auburn. I think that's the most fun part of Last Chance U is to see those guys, and then like the season ends, and you're like, oh, I get to watch that dude at Auburn this season,
right? Yeah.
Or whatever, wherever.
I mean, I'll watch the new season, obviously.
I'll totally watch the new
season. I love
season.
the show.
It's a fantastic show. But short game, watch that one. Because it's parents where you're just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? They spend so much goddamn money on their kids. It's unreal.
Time.
Yeah.
It's just as valuable.
And I'm just sitting here like, man, my sons are not going to play any sports. Fuck them.
Let's get into consumer to can it.
Oh, wait, Joe's
This is just some goddamn bullshit, and you boys know that.
Did we miss a phone call?
The line went straight to voicemail. It didn't even ring, I guess. So,
Oh, wow.
All right.
and, that was the voicemail.
still angry.
Let's hit it again.
Sorry, Drew.
This is just some goddamn bullshit, and you boys know that.
He hit us with goddamn, too. GOTDAM. Goddamn. All right, well, let's get into consumer to candy. You can close down the phone lines now. I was wondering why nobody was calling in. We had the one missed call, and then
Yeah. I figured JB was going to try to call again.
I'm just going to blame it on the streaming issues. That's what I'm blaming it
Sure.
on. All right, anyways, consumer to can it brought to you, as always, by Tavor. This week's beer, we have OJuice, which is a double IPA from Three Magnets Brewing. Let's throw it to Joe first, because Joe never gets to go first on these. Joe, consume it or can it?
This is a big old consume.
No, I mean, he's right, though.
You really
I said that from the first sip, that there was no way that this beer wasn't going to stay, and it stayed true to the last drop. It's fantastic.
I have no idea.
I am so mad that we only got one of these.
I have no idea where that orange taste comes from. Because the fact that there's like no orange put in the brewing process, but the hops come together to still make this citrus orange flavor is the craziest fucking thing to me.
Let me ask you this. Is it more mind-blowing, the orange flavor, or is it more mind-blowing that there's no bitterness from the hops? Because I can't reconcile either one. I mean, they really are both fucking with me. They've got this orange flavor, no oranges, and all the hops and no hop flavor.
Right. That's the crazy. There's like 5 different hops in here.
And you can't taste
and
any
it's
of
like
them.
I don't taste any hops. Dude, it's such a good beer. Consume the shit out of this one. The downside is this is a beer that people can't really find.
I was just going to say, where could you even get this?
You can't. They did this as...
you can get it on, it was on Tavor, so just keep an eye on Tavor.
There you go.
Tavor.com.
But this was a special brew because it was somebody's tap room, some tap room in Washington. It was their 3rd anniversary, so they brewed this in conjunction with that tap room. So it was like a special brew. It's not even rated on Rate Beer because not enough people have had it.
Wow, that's crazy.
But it is so fucking good.
I'm like really.
If you happen to see this, even though this is a little old at this point, because
if you happen to see this, get it and mail it to us. Fuck yourself. Like, you don't get to drink it. You see it and you mail it to us. Because I am blown away.
I'm blown away by the fact that these hops come together and give this orange flavor that shouldn't be there, and it's so good. Consume 100%.
All the way. One of the best beers we've ever had.
Seriously, it really is. It really is.
When you give me a description of a beer and I go in and I'm like, all right, well, it's a double IPA, it's supposed to taste like orange. We'll see. This is probably going to be a shitty night, but I'll suffer through because, for the show and for science. But wow,
for science.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We didn't do this last week with the 100 IBU beer, but how many brushes for this one?
None.
Yeah, no brushes. This is the one where you brush your teeth and you feel weird afterwards because you have orange juice. And
I was just gonna say, and I was just thinking
of weird flavor.
That might be even worse because it's the beer that tastes like
zero
orange juice.
Brushes.
Yes, negative brushes on this one.
This has been Consuming a Can,
man.
brought to you by Tavor. Man, fucking tastic.
What a great beer.
I think we have one more IPA in the bunch over there that we'll do next week.
There's no way it's outdoing this.
And it's a double. It's a double IPA. That's the beers that you are like, I won't wash my
I
driveway.
wash my
with
driveway.
it.
That's still the quote. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one killed it, man. OJuice, so fucking good. All right, Joe, are you ready to do the poll update for today? I haven't voted yet. Let me go in and vote this week. Scott, go ahead and do the. Let us know who the nominees are so that I can vote real quick.
Recapping, the nominees are the friend of Hanley Ramirez who outed him for being a drug kingpin. But wait, Hanley isn't actually a drug kingpin, so his friend just completely lied. Your second nominee was Lawrence Taylor, who decided he wanted to give out life advice after smoking crack for most of his life.
And fucking a 16-year-old girl.
And saying that Jameis Winston...
and that.
Yeah, and saying that Jameis Winston needed to make better life decisions. So those were your two nominees for Motherfucker of the Week. And Joe...
Wait, hang on. We got to give our options.
Oh, we got to give our takes?
Yeah, who's your pick?
The friend. I mean, seriously, I just want to say, Mike, as being the most famous person you know, if you ever out me for being a drug kingpin, I will murder you.
Wait,
and
he
I don't
knows
have to mean
Bronson.
Yeah, I do know Bronson.
Shit. Trumped. If you ever rat out Bronson, I will kill you for having done that. That makes you a shitty kind of friend of Bronson Arroyo. But no, seriously, I mean, I can't imagine somebody doing that. Could you imagine the FBI calling you up and saying, hey, we got this guy here, and he says you're a drug kingpin. Who is this guy? Oh, he's one of my good friends? What the
Is it a good friend, though, or is it just a dude that knows
well,
you?
I don't know. I mean,
because that's the thing.
A dude that knows you, then I mean, I guess it's less offensive. But
right.
We don't know how close this guy was to Hanley Ramirez.
Right.
So.
And that's why I agree. It's a shitty fucking thing to do on this guy's part. But I'm going to go with the Kobe defense on this one. Kobe raped a girl. I will always pick Kobe.
I knew as many times as you brought it up. That's the
LT fuck a 16-year-old girl. Yeah, LT is my motherfucker of the week because he fucked a 16-year-old girl, man. He tried to say, oh, she was 19. I know it has nothing to do with what happened this week. And
it's nothing to do with Jameis at all. But whatever.
Moving on.
But LT is my vote.
Joe, give us your
I know I
tiebreaker.
lost this. I
That's
understand.
fine.